Page 66, Blue Rondo. We're in the key of F sharp minor. Does that sound mean or what? Well, F sharp minor is relative minor to A major. So we've been in 3 sharps. A major is 3 sharps. F sharp minor is 3 sharps. So it's time to go do the scale video on F sharp minor. Learn the scale. Eventually, I'm sure they'll get around to showing you the primary chords or whatever. And don't get scared off by all the sharps and all that junk. It's not that bad. Sort of bad, not that bad. However, in Blue Rondo, I have a few suggestions here. Now, they talk about a rondo. The idea with a rondo form, it's a form of music, is you have sections, melodies, musical ideas, and the first one is always labeled A. And then you can have others. They would be B and C and D or whatever. But in a rondo, the A section reappears each time after another section is done. So it's an ABA, maybe a CA, DA. The other sections can come back too, but in between each one, you're always coming back to an A, and then you'll end it with an A section. Probably slightly different than you started, but it'll still be basically the A section. So at the beginning, this melody, that whole idea, and it's more than just that, but that's going to keep coming back in a rondo form. Now this is a short rondo form, but they put the sections here for you. Like section A starts on page 66, you look at page 67, second line, that's section B. Well, it's a different melody. And then you go down 2 lines at the back, last 2 lines of the page on page 67, you're back to section A. It's an octave higher, but it's still the same melody. That's the idea. And you go over to page 68, and we get a section C. Well, this is, it's similar to what B was, but now it's different. See, that now they changed it. So this is a section C, and you do that for a couple lines, and then they come back to section A. And then they put a coda at the end. Now they're saying that often ends with a coda. That's not necessarily true. It can end with a coda. I've seen plenty of rondos that don't end with a coda. They just end with section A. But it can end with a coda. It's just like a tag to kind of finish it off. I mean, technically, the piece ended at the end of section A, but they're adding this little bit on the end. And that's the idea of the form. Fingering wise, do the fingering, except I have a few suggestions. I always do, huh? Page 67, second line, second measure. This one, they want you to do a 3, 2. Look at the first measure. You're here. Now they want you to do a 3 from here. I'm going to go from a 2 on a C sharp to a 3 on a C natural. I find that awkward. So I'm going to recommend that for the second measure, you finger it 1, 4, 3, 2. So the first measure of the second line on page 67 is here. And then a 1, 4, 3, 2. I find that much easier. You have to cross over to the 4th finger, but you got to be able to do that anyway, so big deal. Force yourself to work on it. It'll come. It'll get less cumbersome over time. Then on page 68, at the first line, second measure. Again, they want 3rd finger, but you just played C sharp with 2nd finger, and they're coming down here. I suggest you play the C natural, the first note and second measure, thumb, and then 3, 2, 4. So the first 2 measures on page 68 is here. And the same thing on the next line, you're just an octave lower. Then, 4th line down, 3rd measure. Here. You got to hold this B down. You're holding a lot of notes down in the right hand. I'll get to that in a minute. But I recommend a 4 on the E sharp, which is an F. Yeah, on piano it's an F. Technically an E sharp and an F is not the same pitch, but on piano it is. Like so. Then at the end, the last 2 measures, on the half note, I recommend a 2-4 and then a 1-3 on this. You can connect them. I'll come back to that. Let's go back over to page 66 at the beginning. First measure is fine. Second measure, you got a whole note. C sharp, you got to hold it down. And then go on. Again, a whole note. You're holding a lot of notes down in the right hand as you're doing other things, and it's kind of important that, yes, you really do hold them down. Because there's no pedal in this, and even if there were, you'd still need to hold it down. Just be aware of it. Last line on page 67, last line, third measure. The fingering is a 5-4. Here, it's the same thing that you get on page 68 a little later on. Yeah. Just hold the B down, like so. We're going to connect the melody, and that's good enough. You don't have to connect do the best you can. That's what we're after. The left hand just got these broken chords. They're black keys, but that's alright. Don't forget the E sharps. They stick them in here occasionally. That's what they do. You can't trust them. Dynamic wise, you're starting out soft, and that's the melody. This. Now I'm going to, this is a blues piece, sort of a blues. So I'm going to swing the eighth notes in a blues style. So it's softly. Now over on 67th second line, section B. Now I'm loud. Watch the accents on the second line. Soft. Staccato's just a light wrist staccato. Third line down is loud. Thumb on the C natural. Then soft. And then back to the section A type thing, only we're soft, only you're an octave higher. If you're going to play this for people and you don't have it memorized, you got to be able to change this page. So you have to plan it out. We practice page turns. I suggest you memorize the first measure on the next page, because the left hand only plays one beat and then it's resting. And that gives you time then to change or to turn the page while the right hand is playing that measure. So you go at the bottom of page 67. And then you just keep going because you got the next measure memorized, and then immediately after the left hand's done, turn the page. So you get that. Turn the page. And this is loud. The first two measures on 68 is loud, and then it's soft in the left hand. It's like a reply. Now it's loud again. Soft. We're back to section A again. Then you get to the coda. Now, one thing they didn't do that a lot of composers will do is on the last time in a rondo, when the section A comes back, they'll alter it some way. And some little thing. They may start it different, they'll end it different, there's something about it that'll be different. They didn't do that on this one, but they could have. And then we get to the coda. This is kind of a medium loud, and then you're going to crescendo to a loud, and then you're going to decrescendo back and die away. So it's here. Hold that out, it's a fermata, and then the last one is a little softer. And you're going to hold that out until you get tired of hearing it. They have a note at the bottom where you can tremolo those last two chords if you want. Recommend 16th notes. And it's easier if you mirror the hands. It's just to start. So, fingering is up to you on the right hand. It's easier to do 1-3 on both. Do 1-3. But it's 5 and then a 3-1 on the. I don't like the tremolo. If you're going to tremolo it, you got to pedal it. They show pedaling on there. You want to smear the trembling with the pedal. To me, it's totally out of character for what this whole piece has sounded like and what we went through to get to this point. To suddenly do this, I disagree. So I would just play the half note, hold it out for as long as you want, and then the whole note, and hold that out even longer, and just let the sound die away. Just listen to the sound as it's dying away and enjoy the dying away part. Unless you're really old like me and you don't think about that too much.